It's not just a bossa beat. It's not, I'm going to learn how to play some jazz time. These inversions for me are the skeleton key to unlock a massive highway that you can drive down to create whatever you want to musically. These patterns are a huge part of how I approach music and play the drums, and I can use it in any musical context that I want to. It's sort of like head exploding kind of thing. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm going to get into it. We're going to deal with these first by taking all the patterns that we did, and we're going to apply them to playing the hi-hat on eighth notes, and the sticking patterns are going to go between the bass drum and snare drum. All the rights are going to be on the bass drum, all the lefts are going to stay on the snare drum. The hi-hat is going to play eighth notes all the way through, and then you're going to play those patterns going back and forth. I'm going to go through each of the patterns first, and then I'm going to show you a few different ways that you can begin to apply these things. So let's just do the patterns first, and then we'll get into the head exploding stuff second. All right, let's get into it. We're going to play eighth notes on the hi-hat. The right hand is going to become the right foot on the bass drum. Left hand will play the snare drum, as it always has. I'm going to go through each of them. You'll see the layout of the sticking pattern at the bottom of the screen. If you need to work on one of these things just to get the pattern going, go ahead and do that. But the eighth note's playing with every single note that you play with the bass drum and snare drum. So here's the basic pattern for all of those, and then we'll get into ways that you can begin to manipulate them. Here we go. All right, I just played that whole exercise as one thing, but you may not be able to do that initially. You may have to break it down and just do all singles right, all singles left, doubles, and so forth. If you need to do that, take your time, do each one individually, and then when you can put them together in an exercise, it'll be a great exercise to kind of have down. But don't worry about trying to get through the whole thing right away if it's super weird. Take your time, build it up, and then put it all together. Now that we have the mechanics out of the way, we can get down to actually using this in ways that are super cool. I'm going to do a very basic concept. Initially, we're going to do the paradiddle. Right, left, left, left. Rights being the bass drum, of course. And I'm going to make that the fourth bar of a four-bar phrase. So we're just going to play eighth notes through it. And you can see how just playing a straight rock beat and then playing that paradiddle pattern immediately gets you sort of what I would call a groove fill. A lot of times you don't have to play because it kind of breaks up the time, and I don't know if anybody's ever played that fill anyway. But if you just play these patterns within the concept of playing a groove, it keeps the time moving, but then there's this movement between the kick and snare, which is really cool, and that's how these things really start to work in a musical way that sounds cool and are really useful and not that hard. Okay, check this one out. All right, let's do another one. We're just going to play doubles. Right, left. Kick, kick, snare, snare. Same concept. We're keeping it in a four-bar phrase. Keep this stuff in four-bar phrases, because if you do that, you're going to see how these actually apply, and they're going to be practiced into using them in actual musical situations rather than some sort of random thing. So random's cool too, but make sure that you can use it on a gig. All right, here we go. Four-bar phrase, doubles. Now for a cool one. I call it the backwards beat. We're going to play the inverted double, So instead of left, left, right, right, the double's in the middle. Left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. And that means you're going to play the snare drum on the downbeat of 1, which kind of sounds like Crazy Town if you're playing a rock beat. If I was just to play this as a groove, if I went 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody would look at me like I'm crazy. But if I play it in context like this fill, it sounds cool. Check it out. So in context of a fill like that, it doesn't sound weird. It actually sounds kind of cool and has a driving sound. Another way to do that is just to go ahead and play the snare drum on all the downbeats. Now we're going to play left, right, which is why it's so important to work on all these inversions, because most of the stuff we play in the kit is digga, 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 right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. But if you do a lot of left rights and can get this left hand happening to play the downbeats a lot, in the right situations, it can sound very cool and is super effective. It doesn't seem like it would work on its own, but in context, these things often work. So here's just driving quarter note. You're going to hear it on 8 million rock songs. Here we go, 4-bar phrase. Okay, how's your brain? How's it doing? Pretty good? All right, should we go on? You can use these things as grooves themselves in a couple different ways. You could take a straight groove like we did and then just play one of those patterns after it. Like go ahead and play, how about the first inversion of a paradiddle? Right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left. And we'll put that after 1 bar of a rock beat, creating just a 2-bar phrase that repeats. Would sound something like this. So there we're just using a full pattern. You can apply any of these to that concept. And you can change the first beat. You can make that first and put a straight beat after that. However you want to mix those around is totally cool. But we're still using kind of every note of the measure. Another way to deal with these patterns is to remove notes. And this is where things kind of get crazy, because almost every beat you ever heard is some sort of paradiddle inversion with notes removed out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the entire paradiddle pattern, the straight initial paradiddle, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Obviously right's on the kick. And then I'm going to take some of the notes out to create what's going to be my new pattern. So I'll do a couple bars of the regular paradiddle, and then I'll start playing the other beat, and you'll be able to see what notes came out and then how drastically it can change by just removing some of the notes. Now this is just one way to do it. There's a billion ways to do it. So that's where your work comes in. All right, here's what this one sounds like. All right, let's do another one of these. So this time we're going to use the last inversion of the paradiddle. Right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right. And I will play that, and then I'll take notes out, and it'll sound like another beat and be totally weird to me too. Let's check it out together. Here we go. I've been playing these exercises kind of medium tempo and sometimes kind of medium up because I'm playing all these notes. I use this eighth note pattern a ton when I'm playing things that are really fast. You can play them slower, like this. That really fills in all the space and you can sound gigantic, you can crash, and you can really smash and bash. You can do it delicately as well. I'm kind of smashing and bashing right now, I guess just because it's fun. The other way you can really use these things is at up tempos. So if you're worried about playing something that's really fast and you need something to play at that tempo, these work really well, and I'll keep coming back to this word as groove fills. So you're just playing a different beat, but it supplies the needed transition to go from one section of a song to another, so it's a groove fill or whatever, or it can build intensity or whatever you want. So at a fast tempo, as opposed to trying to get off the drums, if breaking the time isn't really an option or it doesn't feel right, or it's just, isn't really going to do it, you can just simply go into one of these patterns. I'm going to use the straight paradiddle at a fast tempo, just as one example, and then you can do what you want to it from there. But this is one really good way to use it. I think you'll see the application immediately. I want to be clear about the flexibility of these rhythms in terms of how they can be applied, because I'm thinking of them right now as eighth notes, but you could easily think of them as half note and 16th notes. So if you're playing 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, boom. So they could be thought of as 16th notes as well as eighth notes. So it's whatever application they want to be put into, it all becomes relative at that point. That's why these rhythms are so cool, because you can think of them however you want to. It could even be quarter to eighth or eighth to 16th or whatever you want it to be. So bearing that in mind, just be aware of that and don't get caught up in the number on it. Just get the patterns down and they'll fall where they need to in musical situations. You'll see.